Hello guys and welcome to my first ever episode of the Rare Road to Glory series. If you do want to see this series carry on, guys, make sure to leave a comment below and smash a like on the video also if you do enjoy what you see. But yeah, I'm just going to explain briefly what I'm doing within my rares and how I basically went from the limited to the rare section, or scarcity I should say. So I was always limited. I've always been dabbling with limiteds for the last few years now, but I've always wanted to take that next step in regards to getting into the rare scarcity, because I believe it's better value for time, I think, and I think it's a bit more enjoyable. I think it's going to be more enjoyable, I should say. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to showcase a couple of these players. I've actually got an Excel spreadsheet here to show you guys. Fancy, yeah, I know. But yeah, this is the total spend for £410. This isn't included. Well, this is all inclusive of trade offers and stuff I've made also. So obviously to bots and to other people. So do take that with a pinch of salt. So we'll quickly just go over these guys individually. And then I'll show you why I've chosen that particular player. So we've gone with Zidane, £90, Badia, Alvarez, and Nadal, making up my four goalkeepers. The defensive section or position, I should say, Arbia, Melot, Kote, Neva, Bockhorn, Sho Sasaki, Valassi, and I got Pasquez from actually Sorare Jonesy, who has been a massive help on this little Road to Glory series I'm doing. So make sure, guys, I will leave a little pop-up over there. Obviously follow him on X, guys, and make sure to thank him and just give him a follow and everything else. He will be starting his Twitch soon, so keep an eye on that indeed, because like I said, he's helped me with everybody on this on this list essentially, so massive thank you to him. Yeah, Colin Bato at £21, moved back on loan to Oviedo. Robertoni, Zalahi, Trigueros, Hodza, Morales, Julio, and Ontiveros. What I could do is zoom in a little bit more for you guys. There you go, see a lot better there. So yeah, those are the players so far. And then attacking wise, we've got Uzuni, Pablo Barrera, John Batista, Inigo Cordoba, and Bergstaller of Rapid VN. So if we go through, as you can see here is my club. Obviously ignore the limiteds for the time being because this is a rare Road to Glory. Where is it? So let's start off, like I said, in regards to the goalkeeper position. So we'll go off with my most expensive, which is going to be Lucas Zidane. Bought him for that about that £90 mark. I've chosen him because he should be number one for Granada. Recently just moved from Granada, had a decent spell with Eibar in La Liga 2, and like I said, now moved to Granada for the third time, who have been relegated to the La Liga 2 mark. As you can see, can put up some really decent scores there. I think very, very solid player indeed. Like you see, going for 90, 70, 90, 80 there. So I paid around that sort of ballpark. But I think overall he's a very, very solid player. I've next gone for Edgar Badia. I've taken a risk with, I think, these remaining goalkeepers, and I'll tell you why. With Edgar Badia, maybe why he's a risk, because he wasn't all too favoured at Elche. He was meant to be getting a loan move to Zaragoza, again of La Liga 2. But that didn't end up happening. They ended up buying somebody else or loaning somebody else instead. So Badia is currently still at Elche. He was meant to be second choice, which was a bit of a stinker for me. But it now looks like De Chiro, who's the, I think, 36-year-old goalkeeper who was the favourite, is pushing out for a move there to the Saudi League, and he looks like he's pushing for it as well, which looking like Edgar Badia looks like he's going to be the number one goalkeeper. But I feel like even if De Chiro was to stay, a lot of teams were eyeing this guy up anyway, which is why I took the risk of buying him for about that £40 mark, £44 mark, as you see there. Maybe a little steep for a risk, but I think all in all, this goalie can do really well. I think he's highly touted in the second tier of La Liga. If we go through now to Nadal, again a risk. I only picked this guy up, where is it here, for about £14. It was with a bit of a trade. But yeah, for £14, as you see, didn't start all of last season, but Tenerife did indeed lose their first team starter, and they haven't brought in a goalkeeper as of yet that I know of, or if they have, he is not taking over so far. Nadal Well, I say that, but Nadal looks more favourable to be the starter. He has been starting a lot of friendlies, so I've taken a bit of a risk for 15 quid basically for a potential starting goalkeeper. Yes, he's not the best age at like 34, a bit on the older side, but I thought in regards to goalkeepers, it's fairly young, so I've just gone for him. And yeah, like I said, where is it here for the actual trade itself? £11. And plus at the time these guys weren't worth a whole lot of money, so, and I actually did indeed do that with Flair. So yeah, nice little trade there, I think. And then the last goalkeeper is somebody who doesn't look like he's going to start, purely because it looks like his injuries at the moment. I believe they signed another goalkeeper, so yeah, this might be a little bit of a stinker, this one. But I think all in all, I was taking the risk for literally like 7-8 quid there, as you can see on screen. So overall, I thought it wasn't too bad of a move for me to do that. If we go into the defensive area, we have my recent pickup of Albert Valassi. Very, very decent player. Plays for, don't know how to pronounce that, St. Gallen. Decent little centre-back, gets some really decent AA every now and again. Goal and own goal, but still managed to put up a 63, which is very nice. Again, looking like he's getting at least 25 plus worth of AA when he does have a good game. So definitely why, obviously, main reason why I picked him up. I've picked him up, where is he? At about that £12.70 mark. So again, I didn't think that was too bad. 3.5% is okay. So yeah, not too bad at all. And yeah, he's basically the starter. He was rested for this game because again, they're in, I think, the Europa Conference or Europa League. I'm unsure. I think it's the Europa Conference actually. So yeah, very decent player there indeed. Then we go for Paquez. Again, like I said, I was actually given this by my good friend Sorare Jonesy to help me along my Road to Glory series here. Like I said, guys, again, make sure to just keep pointing the wrong way. That way, check him out, and I'll pop him on screen again. Again, like I said, he's been helping me with a load of these sort of things. So if you need any advice, yeah, obviously my DMs are open, but his are always open and always willing to help people. But like I said, with Paquez, he was free. Yeah, decent little player, can put up some solid scores every now and again. But yeah, I think Grenoble are going to have a half decent season this season. I think they've brought in some good players, and overall, I think in their friendly matches, they look very solid. Sho Sasaki, I'm trying to push on for a bit of a profit here, when and where and if he ever does sell. I will obviously keep you guys updated and record that for you guys. But as you can see here, I picked him up literally when he had this DMP, and I picked him up, I think I've got here for 18 quid. Sho Sasaki, yeah, about £18, as you can see there. So very solid indeed, I believe. So for somebody of this sort of caliber, we know the sort of scores he was putting up beforehand. I can show you here. Very, very, if he hits these consistently again, I think £40 is a bit of a snippet, but I think I'm reaching for the stars a little bit considering the J League is coming to an end, not soon, but relatively soon in comparison to other leagues. And then we'll go for Cote. If you don't know me, guys, I do have a Gijon limited stack, so this is the reason why I've picked up someone like Cote, because I know his influence in the team. He's a more experienced team member on the team as well, playing at that left back slot. And I think overall, I think I more or less picked him up for his like sort of home fixtures, like I said here, like 85, 64. 86, 92, 67, picking up some decent scores, pretty much 50 pluses at the very, very least. So I want to utilise him this season for that. And again, I've only picked him up for as little as £3.50. And that was actually because what was it here? £1.40 plus Nardoni. So at the time it was about £3.50 swap at the time. And then we go into Arbella. It's going to be a bit of a long video, guys. Obviously, the first video, I'm not going to do this all the time, but I just want to show you guys the gallery and where we're going from. And maybe, you know what, guys, if anyone can think of a decent name to call this gallery, this club, leave it below and potentially you could win something. Who knows? So, but yeah, leave a comment below. And like I said, leave a like on the video and subscribe if you're not already. But Arbella is going to be next. Old, I think it's 36 now. Yeah, 36, I believe he is. And I thought this guy was absolutely like peanuts cheap. Picked him up for £6. I was eyeing him up for a while. I actually spoke to, I think it's Juba, again, a La Liga 2 GOAT. So again, thank you for putting up with me all the time. So great shout out to him for any La Liga 2 advice and player advice. I asked him, is he going to be starting? Yes, he's guaranteed starter. He's best player, best defender on the team. Even if they bring in anyone, he should be starting. So yeah, for £6, like you see here, his home form is phenomenal. And that's all pretty much for decent AA here. 41. You've got, well, 23 plus an assist. Was for 39, 35. Like, he's just a phenomenal scorer. For it's only £6. And for Eibar, who are one of the top teams, or going to be one of the top teams in the league, at least top 6. Yeah, very, very solid pickup there, I think, indeed. Malot, I've got him because I wanted to more or less add him towards Nadal. That was it, Nadal, the goalkeeper. Have a little defensive duo going on there. And I picked this guy up, if we can shift back here again, for as low as £11.70. So again, I think again was a decent price considering, although Tenerife weren't the best of teams last season, they actually struggled to score goals as opposed to conceding. They're actually one of the top teams of conceding last season. They didn't concede at all. Well, not at all, but a lot. So yeah, as you can see here, the scores show that. Picking up 36 AA here, 44. Got a goal and 25 AA, 37 AA. So he's obviously somebody who can get in and amongst those 70 plus scores just off the pure basis of AA. So I've picked him up, like I said, alongside him for literally, like, again, I can't remember. Yeah, literally just £12. So like I said, I think that's actually a really decent buy. As you can see here, for £3.60, I bought Carlos Neva again to go alongside someone like Zidane, that sort of defensive duo to maybe playing at home home to somebody who is playing quite poorly away, or someone who's near the lower end of the table, doesn't score a lot. I think mixing up Zidane and Neva is going to be a very, very deadly duo indeed. You can see he's been picked up here for £7, £8, £9 at the moment, which is very, very solid. These are the scores obviously from the time in La Liga, so they're not going to be the best. He scored half decently in his time in La Liga 2. But yeah, I think this for literally £3.60 and with Nadal, I think a very, very solid duo instead. Indeed. Uludag, don't worry about him. He was just again gifted by, again, Sorare Jonesy, who just wanted to clear his rubbish out the glove and give it to me, so I'll happily take it. Had him for about, how long have I had him for now? 29 days and still not able to ship him on for even £1. So if anybody wants to buy him, please do so. I'll give you a shout out if you do so. But yeah, Herbert Bockhorn as well, I bought for £6. I actually really, really rate the team Magdeburg in the second tier of the Bundesliga. I think very, very solid team. In regards to where they were in the position last season, they were near, I would say, I think it was just underneath mid-tables, 14th, 13th, something like that. So, but what I do enjoy about them, like Bockhorn, is that they have a bunch of teams that are full of like peakers. So again, if it looks like he's going to play because he looks like he's in and out of the team at the start of this season, and he actually started last week, but had an injury, came off after 22 minutes with a bruised knee, so it doesn't sound that too bad. But yeah, for £6, I thought for somebody who peaks the way he does, when he does, I think just to put him in those games where it looks like he's going to be a starter, for £6, it's not too bad at all. So yeah, that basically sums up my defensive positions. Then we go into the midfielders. I've bought Ontiveros for £15 flat there. I think is a very, very solid player. Just recently moved to Cadiz, again in La Liga 2. Played for the second or the B team, I should say, of Villarreal. He'd ran down his contract and moved as a free agent now to the recently relegated Cadiz, and you know, I'm hoping that they will get automatic promotion again, or there amongst, because up there with Granada at least. As you can see there, bought from Jonesy. Jonesy didn't want him, bought him for about £15, which is about the floor price at the time. So yeah, again, a very, very solid player, very much like Bockhorn in the sense like this guy when he's on form, like he can peak. As you can see here, it's got very, very solid greens and blues there. So I think he should be a starter. It looks like he has a little bit of a knock from what I last saw in an update on Sorare Inside, which we might have a look at in a minute. But all in all, if he does start on that left side, where it looks like he's where he plays better, because he was playing with Villarreal B team. He was playing as a cam, playing as a striker, right wing, but it looks like his better scores actually come on the left wing, left midfield position. So again, I think very, very solid player for the £15 mark. Then again, another player I recently picked up, Johan Julio, in the Ecuadorian league, I believe it was, for LDU Quito. Again, very solid player. Peaks phenomenally, which is really, really nice. Again, when and where he starts, and again, you know, maybe I maybe paid a little bit too much for this sort of guy. He wasn't a good run of form at the time. Obviously, I've used him and he's got this, like my luck. But all in all, I think again he should be a starter. He should be in and amongst those decisive actions as well, and probably all in all, it's probably someone I'm probably going to get rid of fairly quickly. Hopefully, maybe in the next couple of weeks we'll decide, or if you think I should do that, make sure to leave a comment below what I should do with Johan Julio. Then I've got Morales. He recently just moved back to Levante. The veteran is now literally going to be. He was playing all over the gaff when it came to who was it again? Yeah, Villarreal. And when he was playing in Villarreal, he was left wing cam, very much like Ontiveros. But now that he's going to be playing in the striker position, I think this guy's going to have a really good season. And I believe, who did he move to? I'm just trying to remember whereabouts he did indeed move to. Levante, of course, I said at the start. Yeah, Levante. So again, I think a very solid player. And yeah, overall, I think he's going to have a very, very solid season. Whether or not he's going to start there, I'm not sure. But I'm more or less holding him for a couple of game weeks time, where he's actually picked up some form and picked up some game time, and hopefully a start position. Robertoni here, Lucas Robertoni again. Almeria have been relegated, so they are going. Obviously, they're in La Liga 2 now, and you can see there's a common trend here with La Liga 2 players. I think there's they've been a lot cheaper because they started before Bundesliga. Well, they started after Bundesliga 2 had started, etc. So I think players like this are criminally underrated and undervalued. But again, a very, very solid player for these sort of scores, and this is in La Liga 2 to a relegated team. I think he's going to do really, really well this season. I think Almeria, I think they're buying some half decent players as well to go alongside Robertoni. But I picked up Robertoni here as well. You can see for about that £25 mark, which I thought was very solid and very much like a future player I'll be talking about on Colabata, who I thought was just very underrated. And actually, we can talk about him now. So £21, very much like Robertoni. I think this guy's going to be very, very similar. This was with Oviedo all of last season on loan, and he has indeed moved on loan again to Oviedo for another season. So who knows if they'll buy him after that. But again, very, very solid player. Doesn't need decisive actions. Got another decisive action there, but I mean, he doesn't need it all the time. I keep saying that, and he keeps getting decisive. There we go, all around. So another 30. So he's very, very capable of hitting those 60, 70 plus scores on the regular. Definitely one of the premium players in regards to this club, and Robertoni is in regards to the midfield position. And then we've got Hodza and Salahi, who both play for Rijeka in the Croatian HNL League. Again, I think I was pointing this guy out mainly by, again, Sorare Jonesy. And somebody who, where he does play, can definitely peak and definitely do really good in regards to his scoring. And I picked him up for as little as £5. So I thought, why not heck it? And Zalahi, again, the same thing. Didn't get him for a lot. I think I got him in a trade initially for another player I had. But all in all, where is he? Zalahi at about £9. He was in the time of the trade. But again, somebody like Hodza can peak, and typically is going to be at home to the, I guess, lesser teams. So yeah, and then we've gone for Manu Trigueros. Now, I picked this guy up for as low as £4.70, and he's just recently moved again to Granada in La Liga 2. So again, recently what's it called, relegated team. Yeah, just moved there, wasn't getting any game time. He spent, I think it was 10, 15 odd years at Villarreal, spent a long time there, and decided to move and has moved to Granda. So I picked him up. As you can see, he's gone up a little bit in price as well, considering he's basically somewhat doubled in price. From the time I picked him up. But again, if this guy's a starter for a team who looks like they should be pretty much not guaranteed it, but pushing up there in regards to promotion, if they become a top 8 team even, there's going to be some decent fixtures out there for me to utilise him in. And then we're going to go to the forwards, last but not least, and these are the forwards. So let's go with, Bergstaller. So I picked this guy up for as low as £14.72, as you can see there. In regards to his scores, he's been on fire recently, apart from, I guess you could say, the last 2 games where I believe, I think he's starter there. Maybe a starter there. I'm not too sure. I thought he came off the bench, but either or, he's about there and thereabouts, about £20 as well at the moment. So making it looks like some nice little profit there. So potentially someone to move on in the near future. But again, very solid. Rapien are a half decent team, or quite a good team, I should say, in the Austrian Bundesliga. And then we go for Inigo Cordoba. Last season played in the Eredivisie, so you can see very nice scores for a team who weren't all too good, and that was for Fortuna Sittard that he did play for indeed there. As you can see, they're losing there, lost there again against Twente, lost 4-0 there, had a clearance of the line. So he's doing it all at the moment, and he has just recently moved, I believe it's with his brother, at Burgos in La Liga 2. So again, I thought a very solid option for the time at £22. I actually remember telling him about Sorare Jonesy for like, I think it was about around the £15-16 mark, I think it was, and of course he snapped him up before I did. So you know what, unfollow him, okay? Just no, I'm joking, but so in regards to that, he puts up some brilliant scores. Burgos are, I think, they're quite again good, decent attacking team. Put up some good scores at home, like most La Liga 2 teams do. And I just want to utilise him in those sort of sections where he has got a very good, favourable home fixture there. Uzuni, this one's a bit of a risky one because the transfer window is still open, but I'm hoping he does stay. It looks like he's staying. I believe he was given the number 10, or he had number 10. I can't remember what it was, but I'm trying to do a lot of Spanish translate on X to try and find out this sort of information. But I have picked him up for as low as £18.50, which I thought if he does stay and he does do really well, then I think I've got one hell of a player on my hands. And you know what? I might even just show you really quickly. Uzuni. If we look at his scores back in the day where he was in La Liga Smart Bank, so you can see here 35. You know what? Let's get the sub appearances. 35 starts, 23 goals, 5 assists. So he had 28 goal contributions across that season in 35 games, and this was only back in 2023. So this wasn't like 3-4 years ago or whatever. This was only like a year or two ago when they were last in La Liga 2. So again, if he stays, only 29, so I'm not buying a 35, 36-year-old, but I am running that risk of him being sold, which is is a possibility with a player of his sort of caliber within the La Liga 2 mark. But I thought for £18.50 if he starts, I reckon he goes up quite substantially if he does indeed replicate even half of that season he's had with Granada in La Liga 2. Next is going to be Pablo Barrera. Don't know all too much about this guy, to be honest. More or less a pickup for me from a Sorare Jonesy. Again, I picked him up at the time of recording. At the time of actually doing it was about £16. So I thought it was a fair shout for a solid forward option at the time. I've had him for quite a while as well. If we look back here, 23 days, so about 3 weeks. So obviously these weren't a factor at the time, but I was seeing pretty much that onwards, and I liked what I see at the time. I like what I saw, I should say. Yeah, so very, very solid player. Again, aging a bit. So again, maybe someone to sell on to be able to bring back, well, not bring back, but sell on to maybe bring somebody else better, or someone better as in. God, English is hard. Yeah, so John Bautista is who I've picked up also, and I picked him up for about £12. Where is it? Yeah, £11.40, as you can see there. Again, I think very, very solid. And if we look at him, John Bautista playing an Eibar as well. So very, very solid team. Pretty much guaranteed start. He's got a nice home fixture there to start off with against the newly promoted Castellon. But again here, like, very, very solid. Get rid of his sub appearances and DMPs and whatever else. But all in all, when he starts, 27 appearances, 17 goals, 1 assist with a last man tackle clearance off the line there as well. So that's 19 decisive actions across 27 games. Again, I thought it was very, very, very solid. Doesn't much like peak, sure. Like, doesn't get, in the 90s, 100s. Although that could happen this season, being 29, could peak around that sort of time. But yeah, I think very solid. Eibar again should be one of the firm favourites to be within the qualifying positions for getting into the first division in Spain. But again, I just thought very, very solid option for the £12 mark. Now, in regards to my lineups for this upcoming game week, with La Liga 2 coming and flowing into action, as well as the rest of the second division teams here, I'm unsure what to do in regards to lineups wise. Again, guys, just don't bother with them. Don't worry about the limiteds. But in regards to the rares, you see one of the first teams I sort of put out was that Nadal and Malot duo combination, or defensive combination. Colin Bato here, who is playing away to Deportivo La Corona, who are again a newly promoted team. So hopefully you can do something there. Oviedo were not too bad away from home last season. And Tenerife are away to Eldense. I'm not expecting all too much there. It's not the best of lineups. I don't think Tenerife are the best away from home, from what I remember. But Bergstall definitely has a decent game there against with Rapapien against Tyrol. And then Pasquez at home to, I'm not going to bother pronouncing that team. So yeah, that's one of the teams I am looking at here. Maybe if we go register another team here, let's go through the classic and let's go to the contender. One of my teams are already here. So again, another one in the classic. It starts in Division 4, which is, obviously I think just what's going to happen. I've not done rare before, but I've got, if Edgar Badia starts, he's at home to Huesca, so should be a nice game there for him. I've got a lovely game here for Arbilla with Eibar at home to Castellon, the newly promoted Castellon. I've got again a nice one again with Ontiveros if he plays, because like I said, he has got a bit of a knock there and is a bit 50-50, 60-40 to be starting that game. So I'm hoping and praying that some news comes out in regards to him potentially starting that game again. And that's at home to Real Zaragoza, who were not very good away last season. Again, like his teammate Arbilla, John Batista at home to Castellon. Again, some very favourable fixture there. And then I've got Johan Julio, who's away from home there. So yeah, I don't think was too bad there. And then what do we got? I've got my training team here, because obviously Granada aren't playing this week. They're playing midweek, which I have thrown them in. So if I do get anything there, guys, I will let you guys know, of course. But yeah, just throwing them all into training. And let's see, I am wanting as well to pick up another goalkeeper, guys. Okay, so if we go here, let's go to, I don't want that. I want to enter another competition. I want to do it in classic, and again in the contender is where I'm going to be putting a lot of my energy to. So what I want to do is build up a good contender collection. Then I want to go into obviously challenger, and then potentially to champion. A long way off that yet, but who knows what can happen with this series. So again, guys, like the video if you can. It'd be greatly appreciated, and why not leave a comment below of what I should do with this series here. If you've got any fun ideas, do you think there's anyone in particular that I should be picking up or playing, by all means get that in the comments below. But yeah, this is what I want, another goalkeeper. Obviously Alvarez is not going to be a starter. I've got Cote here. In the midfield, I've got these lot here. So I've got Robertoni, Morales, Salahi and Hodza. I've been given on good authority that it looks like Hodza's going to be starting, so at home to Istra, I am probably going to play him there. Cordoba, Cordoba doesn't look like he's going to be starting the first game of the season because he's only recently just joined and he has done a lot of training sessions, and yeah, I'm not sure if he's going to be started. From what I can tell on Sorare Inside, maybe they might be able to tell me that a little bit more. So let me try find that. So got Burgos here. Yeah, you can see there his name there, Cordoba at 50-50. No sort of news, but maybe I might be able to find a bit more information about it. But I think it's purely down to he's only just recently moved and he hasn't had a lot of game times or friendly or anything like that with Burgos. So that's probably going to be it. But he's probably going to be most likely a guaranteed starter. He's got too much ability just to leave him on the bench. So we're going to have to play Pablo Barrera away from home, and then we also got this one again, which I'm probably just going to play Salahi in. So I've got the duo there. So I want another goalkeeper. So guys, if you can maybe comment below of another goalkeeper, that'd be greatly appreciated to maybe pick up in that rare scarcity that isn't obviously hundreds of pounds or near enough that price. Anyone who you think or know is going to be a starter, yeah, get amongst it, guys, because if I end up picking your player, you know what, I think I might just reward you with the limited version. So I think that's a fair trade right there. So if you do your research, I'll be rewarding you for it, and that goes for any players, guys. If you want to put in the comments below, of course, and want to suggest a player that you think I should get in the defensive midfield attacking slot, by all means, comment below and I'll make sure to check that out on the next episode. And you know what, like I said, if I do pick up one of those players or eventually pick up one of those players, then I'll reward you with that limited, with a limited version of that player. Okay, so it's a very, very, very nice indeed, I think. But yeah, that's what I want to do. I don't think there's any more updates to do. Like I said, we've just got a training team, etc. But I think all in all, guys, that is going to wrap up the first episode of the Rare Road to Glory. So again, below, guys, if you want to comment any players below, any goalkeepers in Rare, of course, and if you also want to come up with a name for this gallery, okay, I was thinking something like, I don't know, actually, I was sort of gone brainwashed, but maybe someone like Cap Stars. Something like, I don't know. That's why I'm rubbish. I'll leave it up to you guys more than likely if I do get comments in below. But again, guys, make sure to check out Sorare Jonesy for helping. Make sure to check out my Twitter, as you can see on screen also. And make sure to like, comment and subscribe to the channel. We should be uploading probably once, maybe twice a week, and I'll showcase the rewards, I'll showcase any buys or sells that I do, and like I said, we'll even have a scouting session every now and again to maybe show see what you guys have posted in and amongst the comments. But again, guys, I'll see you later. Like, comment and subscribe. Ciao, ciao. And if you're new here, guys, make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell to be notified every time I upload.